Building tips if you're building in the Caribbean. I am currently building in Roatan, Honduras for the second time, which means we're not going to make the mistakes I made the first time, and it's going to go a lot better. A few things that we do in the Caribbean or any island nation, I wish we would do it more on mainland. However, we don't have to. On an island, most resources are limited, so we have to, by default, be eco-friendly, or it's actually, there's a cost savings to be eco-friendly compared to the United States, where it tends to cost a little bit more, so you actually have to care about the environment to make these decisions or investments. In Roatan, Honduras, it saves money to do what is right and do the eco-friendly thing. So a few things that are going to be different building a house in Roatan or on an island versus maybe somewhere on the mainland is, one is a cistern. I like to build a nice big cistern, which is basically just a bucket of water, but a big bucket, like a pool of water that you use to run any water that you use in your house. So your sinks, your showers. If you want drinking water, I just put in a UV filter and make sure you clean that water up, but you collect and you can get water. Well, you can get water by using the public water, but I personally like to collect rainwater. It's there anyway, so you might as well just use it to put water in your house, water your garden, do whatever you want. It's just more self-sufficient. And guess what? It's free once you pay for the cistern. So, and the filter system. The next thing is so you can have, well, what is very important is wind on an island, because islands can get really, really hot, especially in the Caribbean. You want to make sure you position your house in the correct direction, because in Roatan, Honduras, you want those east to west winds. You do not want to block that, because if you do, your house is going to get really hot and it's going to be expensive to cool that house down. So we made sure we optimized the winds, we watched the wind patterns, and we made sure both houses are being built so we get airflow, which is, airflow in Roatan can be a game changer, because guess what also? It not only cools your house, but mold doesn't like airflow either, and mold loves damp, warm places, which is basically all of Roatan, Honduras, or anywhere in the Caribbean is always humid, always hot. Mold loves it there. So get those winds in and get that airflow, which, on a side note, put fans in every room. I love putting fans in my bathrooms. The reason is that airflow. Mold doesn't like airflow. And it also reduces on your energy bills, because that wind, that fan, that wind flow, it really, really helps your house. So next thing is solar or powering your house, because in Roatan we have an electric company called Rayco. Rayco is very expensive. It is about 42 or it used to be 42. I think it's closer to 48 kilowatts or USD per kilowatt hour. So it is based on the USD, which most things in Roatan or Honduras are based off USD, but they do have a national currency, Lempira. I digress once again. 48 cents per kilowatt hour, which is astronomical compared to the United States. Canada and Europe, they're, let's just say, more evolved than some Americans in regards to being wasteful or not wasteful. No offense, I'm an American, and well, we just think bigger is better, and who cares about waste? Old Lauren, like some. We're learning just a little bit slower than the rest of the world. So the last thing is solar. Solar pays off in the United States. Solar pays off, and in Colorado, solar does pay off quicker in Colorado because we are close to the sun. We get a lot, and we have a lot of sunny days. So it does take about 5 to 7 years to pay off your solar. Now, if you bought a fancy pants solar that you probably shouldn't have, it's going to cost you a lot longer. But if you buy the appropriate solar power system for your house, usually pays off in 5 to 7 years. In Roatan, it's maybe 3 to 5, just because you have such high Rayco bills, electric bills here. And if you want to run the AC, which I do, I mostly run it to get that humidity out, because once again, you might notice I don't like mold. I've had to mediate mold. Mold sucks. I've had to do it in houses in Georgia. I've had to do it in Roatan, and I hate mold. And well, that's it. I'll do anything to get rid of mold. So keeping the humidity down in a house, which you have to run an AC or a dehumidifier, which runs a ton of electricity. So being on solar really helps. So even if you don't do these things at the very beginning, cistern's going to be hard depending on it because you want to put that water underground, usually under your house. Part of your house, I personally put it under our guest house or under a carport, just so you don't get that moisture coming out through your house. So a little bit of tidbits there, but the last with the solar, you don't even have to do these things at the beginning, but make it so you can do it in the future. So the house that we are building, we are not putting in solar at day one because I'm assuming I'm going to run out of money for that. Wrong, right, or otherwise, I'm well aware of how it works, and I'm not going to do anything until I know I can pay for it 100%. And right now we are wiring for solar. However, I will not be installing solar on day one. We will get to it, well, probably after I get the first few RACO bills, and I'll be like, nope, no more. The only thing that we're doing day one is the pool pump is on solar, which costs, normal pool pump for our size of a pool is around $600 in Honduras. I think the pool pump we're installing is around $3,500, so it is pricey. But those pool pumps, they cost about $100 to run off RACO when you're paying that RACO rate. So if you guys ever have any questions, I have lots of opinions, or if I don't know, I will tell you and I can direct you to the person that does.